I've walked past the same little gaps and cracks around my windows and doors for months, telling myself I'd get to them eventually. Well, today is that day. I grabbed a tube of Type Bond's ProGrade Plus and finally tackled the spots where weather and time have worn things down. First, I worked on some spring cleaning of the flashing around my windows, as over the winter they got very dirty. I grabbed a bag of baking soda and filled a spray bottle with vinegar. Sprinkle on the baking soda, spray on the vinegar, and with a scrub brush, I was able to clean things up fast and easy. Rinsing everything off with some water to check my progress, I then kept going. I discovered I let one particular window go far too long without any attention, which explains why my dining room was extra cold this past winter. As I quickly found out, the gaps here were a major issue. With things cleaned up, it was time to tackle removing the old caulk around the window. This can be done with a sharp utility knife, but be careful to avoid any unintentional damage. I also went in with a chisel to help scrape things up a bit. Once I got the old caulk removed, I filled big gaps with foam gap filler, which you can find at your local home improvement store. This adds an additional installation layer and handles those two large areas. I am really looking forward to using Type Bond's ProGrade Plus caulk next to address these really problematic areas that shift, as I know it's ideal for sealing joints, repairing cracks, and backfilling those big gaps. With everything cleaned up and dried, it was time to caulk with Type Bond's ProGrade Plus. What's extra great for this particular window spot is that the siliconized acrylic formula allows for joint movement, which is obviously a big issue here. This caulk is very flexible and is exactly what I need. And considering the weather extremes where I live, this caulk is engineered to not crack, which is truly perfect. Bonus 2, it has an incredible 50-year warranty, which is completely amazing. What's great for me using the clear is that I can use it in several different places around the house where colors are different. I next moved on to the framing around my back door to ensure extra weatherproofing. Squeezing on a bead, I was instantly impressed with this caulk. It's incredibly easy to work with, and it smooths so effortlessly too. This caulk is formulated for both interior and exterior use, so I'm covered indoors and out in all the spaces I need done today. What's great too is it comes in 9 colors, so if you're looking to match, you are all set. Cleanup is easy with a paper towel, rag, and just water while the product is uncured. Type Bond's ProGrade Plus caulk was sure making this tedious task easy, that's for sure. Once everything was sealed up, I was able to repaint after only waiting 2 hours, which is such a time saver. Not only has the caulk spruced up around my door, the whole door is now ready for all the seasons ahead. My last trouble spot? The front door, which proves to be a sieve. Using the same tube of Type Bond's ProGrade Plus caulk in clear, I hit up some trouble spots to stop air movement through. This formula is just so easy to use. It goes on smoothly and effortlessly. It's so fantastic. After waiting 2 hours, it was time to prime and paint, and the interior portion of this door was all set. I then moved on to areas around the exterior framing, which had failing caulk and paint. A bit of removal of the old caulk, some light sanding of peeling paint was all that was needed to prep, and then it was time to caulk. The clear was extra handy here as I have got a green door, the trim is painted black, and I've got red brick surrounding the door. All that was left was a quick touch-up of the black paint around the trim and framing, and everything was good to go. This is by far the easiest, smoothest, best caulk I have ever used, and trust me, I have tried many. Sometimes refinishing your home doesn't mean a full renovation. Sometimes it just starts with sealing the small stuff. A little bit of caulk really goes a long way. Thanks to Type Bond for sponsoring this video.